Let's go crazy!
Yeah, boy!
Yo. What up, everybody? It's your boy Sinfanta and
Nolimo the Brave Wolf.
And I don't have a cool
we
name.
have a guest. We have the one, the only Luminite. What's up?
What's going on? What's happening? What's popping?
Lume, I heard that it's making your way in the world today. It takes everything you got, bro. Is that true?
It is indeed factual. It takes 123%, not 22. If you do 22, it's just gonna fall in your face every time you wake up.
Yeah! Banjo and Smash confirmed a year ago or two.
Bro. Banjo. Oh, God.
You remember when Banjo wasn't in Smash? It was like, yo, I wish Banjo was in Smash.
Yo, facts.
Isn't it crazy how you fight for something for so long and then it happens and you're like, all right, on to the next one. Where's Waluigi? Yo, we as humans aren't shit, bro. Like, we're horrible.
Yo, we're so ass. We're gonna talk about that in a second, but yo, what up, everybody? Welcome to the podcast returning. We've been away for a bit. You know, Marv is about to explain to you why in a sec. But thank you for joining us wherever you are on Spotify. Make sure you follow us on Spotify. Make sure you follow us on Apple Podcasts. Leave a review. Make sure you follow us on YouTube. Mask and Patch Podcast. Most importantly, twitch.tv-Sinfanta, twitch.tv-Bravery Arcade,
Bingo.
and twitch.tv-Luminite. Thank you.
Yeah, man, we're in here. Shout out to Just a Nut. He said, bro, Banjo's confirmed. Man, I remember when Mario being confirmed was a huge shock. Whenever they announce Mario for Smash, I'm always like, really? But it feels good to be back. We had to take a couple of weeks off. We were moving to a new location as far as Bravery Arcade / Bravery Studios goes. But we're in here. We're finally settled in. And finally time is being made for the pod because this was very, very necessary. I'm really sad that we missed the week of E3 because that was a big one, man. And this is actually one of Nintendo's better E3s in many years. So I'm happy that we're able to talk about it now, though. That we didn't even slide by at least another month because it would have been over. E3 talk about it.
Before we get into it, how was the transition of getting into a new place?
I mean, it was rough. It was just the moving part. I had to make so many trips back and forth between the old location and the new location. So it was definitely rough. But I mean, you know, I endured, man. I kept the train rolling. I didn't let anything stop me or, you know, and I made it happen, man. I just made it happen, like, you know. And I'm still in the process of making it happen. I'm still not even done yet doing all the necessary things in the studio. Like, I still got to put a drop ceiling in some of the rooms. I got to put a carpet in a couple of rooms. It's still an ongoing process, but I'm taking it day by day, just breathing slowly and, you know, doing everything I got to do little by little.
That's how you got to do it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I believe the last item on the list is your floor, right?
No. The floor in the hallway I got done, but a couple of the rooms also need a carpet and then like drop ceilings in a couple of the rooms too. But what I know is this is never a never-ending thing. Kind of like you're always making improvements. You're always changing something. Especially with me, I'm constantly looking at things and saying I want to fix that. Even things that I might not notice today, in 3 months I might say, oh yeah, I gotta get that changed and fixed. So I'm, you know, just take it slow. When you're like that, you got to take it slow and breathe and realize that you can't get everything done in a day. Rome wasn't built in a day, so you know, you just got to take a breather and do it at its own pace. You know,
Facts, big facts.
So, so before we jump into Nintendo E3 and the news, who do you think? Who do you guys feel won E3? Because to me, in my opinion, this was awkward. Because of the timing and how it was handled, but I still think Nintendo just took it.
Oh,
Like
but
that's
easy,
my opinion.
but easy
Oh yeah,
though.
100%, dude.
Easy. Like that's not even. I didn't even think it was an argument because Sony didn't even come to E3. So like that.
Right.
That's easy. Microsoft, besides having Bethesda, now that they recently brought Bethesda, really didn't really talk about anything besides their services like Game Pass, which is Game Pass is great, but
Hmm.
that's not an E3 for me. Like to just hear, hey, we got a great services on our console. Like and then Capcom and Square really dropped the ball.
Hmm.
I can't even go in deep enough of how much I hated what Square Enix did at E3
Square Enix,
because
you mean the Guardians of the Galaxy Direct, dude?
brother, oh my god, 20 minutes of Guardians of the Galaxy, then we got I'm here to kill chaos. I'm like, what
Chaos.
is this? What are you doing? They try to do like a Dark Souls remake of Final Fantasy 1. I mean, something in the
Hmm.
styles of Final Fantasy 1. Final Fantasy 1 in the style of Dark Souls, but then you got like this horrible, ugly looking graphics, and then you got these corny
Hmm.
lines and him continuously repeating, I want to kill chaos. Like, what is this? But yeah, I won't say Nintendo won from just having a great show. They won because there was no other competition. But I will say that
Hmm.
they actually had a decent show. I think they had one of their most better shows in a couple years.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Mm. Lumina, how do you feel? How do you feel about it?
Pretty much the general consensus, like everyone's saying, is Nintendo definitely won. I mean, they just as far as uh, quality can be argued, but just quantity of the things that they showed that
Yeah,
were going to be
yes.
available soon as well. Because especially with the things with the other companies, they talked about some games, but it was always like, all right, the last thing that Microsoft talked about, which is actually a cool looking game, is like 2022, and it's like, okay, that's cool. We got a couple years to wait for that, and then other than that, it was just what Sea of Thieves and then Halo, and then
We
like
got
there's no
Johnny
other
Depp, right?
competition. So yeah, definitely, Nintendo definitely took that one home, dude.
Easy, easy.
They came through. It's not, even if the other companies would have came prepared, I feel like Nintendo probably would have still taken it.
Yeah, but
The
what's
only exception. Mhm.
I was just gonna say, what's a prepared show for Microsoft though? Like, I don't even know what that would look like.
I mean, they kind of ruined
Well,
themselves by not really having console exclusive stuff. And
Yeah, I
so,
was gonna say,
so like,
I feel like that was a prepared show for Microsoft, and it still was. All right, okay, cool, fine, whatever.
do you feel like the future of gaming is going to be non-console exclusives or the opposite?
You want to go first, Rio? What do you think?
oh yeah, I'll take it. I do definitely think it only makes sense that it's gonna move over to everything kind of being pseudo crossbred together, kind of like it is now. Even with Monster Hunter, like Monster Hunter Stories, just having a Capcom game with Nintendo releasing on PC pretty much at the same time as on console is definitely a
We're going to talk about it in a bit.
yeah, I know. It's definitely a different kind of move, and you could kind of see that happening with a lot of games coming out. It's like, all right, it's going to come out on console, then it's going to come out on PC. It's going to come out on console, then it's going to come out on PC. Until eventually, people are just going to want that availability of the game, so they're going to have to figure out how to do something else to make the I was going to say credibility, but more like the importance of having a console. Because at that point it's like, okay, if I can same thing that Microsoft did to themselves, right? It's like, why do I have an Xbox when I can just play everything on PC?
Bingo.
Yeah.
I don't even have to.
Mars?
I don't even have to follow up. You just said everything I would have said. I
Mhm.
will say that the
All right. So here's
Nintendo.
here.
My bad. I will say I will say that maybe Nintendo would never come to PC, but then again, they started doing mobile games like a couple years ago, so
Mm.
nothing is written in stone. You know.
My concern going into the future is how exclusives are going to be handled about being non-exclusives. Because the community demands exclusives in order to purchase console, in order to purchase platform, and I feel like if we're going to go into the future, which I would much rather everything be non-exclusive. But then we would need people to be okay to spend that funding in whatever it is that you decide to purchase, and then make sure that the console itself is going to be the exclusive drive. And you know, Nintendo's no longer doing like the blue ocean thing and the approach of like, let's keep making consoles that do exclusive things. But I feel like every console at this point is gonna have to like either unify under one brand, or you know, each one do something particular that the other one cannot, and make games non-exclusive, and everybody benefits. That's my take on it.
But you know, I think before we move on, I think they kind of need to do what the PS5 or what Sony's doing with the PS5 now is for the console exclusives. There needs to be the single player adventure games, right? So we got the Ratchet and Clank game that came out that was really good for the PS5, and that's PS5 exclusive. And the issue with obviously, like I said, the other competition like Microsoft is that there is not really a single player adventure game that's a console exclusive that anybody is hyped for. And I feel like that's one of the things that they would need to do if they want to keep, you know, console exclusivity, you know, actually people buying consoles.
Mm-mm.
Totally agree.
Okay.
Totally agree.
All right, so anybody that has any comments or questions pertaining to that topic that we just covered, make sure you hit us up on YouTube or Spotify, Apple. Make sure you join the conversation, and or when we're live on Twitch. Okay, so first things first, guys. Kazuya is in Smash Bros.
Yes.
What is everyone's thoughts on this?
Personally, I love him. I love how much care they put into him. If you've played Tekken and then you go play Smash, you'll see why they made certain decisions that they did, and you can appreciate how much Sakurai really goes into detail and the minutia, and he's so meticulous with all these DLC characters, especially. He's awesome. Like I think Kazuya is a great. I think it's weird that we got Kazuya instead of Heihachi, where I always pictured Heihachi
Right.
as the face of Tekken. But then again, I think in Japan, Kazuya is the favorite, the fan favorite. I think because
Mhm.
even in Tekken, I mean Street Fighter Cross Tekken, Kazuya was more prevalent than Heihachi in that game. I see, at least in promotion. So it's interesting. Like I said, that you know Kazuya over Heihachi, but you know I'll take either one. Hey, Kazuya is
Mhm.
awesome. I'm with it. I'm with the shits.
Nah, I'm not gonna lie. It was definitely a very unexpected but welcome addition to the Smash roster. Like you said, for the people who played Tekken, Smashers, as we like to call them, won't understand the way that this character works and why he does the things that he does. But if you play Tekken, then you understand that game is a game of literally slow pace neutral almost, where you're just poking back and forth.
Mhm.
And then the second you get touched, you just explode with damage. And that's exactly what he does in Smash. He almost against every character, you got to be patient, you got to wait around. But then the second you get touched, you getting hit with, was it electric wind god fist into, you know, almost infinite combo into a kill setup, you know. So it's
Yep.
really cool. I love
Yep.
it.
It's
Pyro says my first reaction to what was it? Kazuya was Tekken. Let's go.
Let's go.
I don't think anybody could have guessed that. I didn't hear any rumors or any speculation about Tekken crossover or Kazuya in general. Like that totally caught everyone off guard. Everyone. That was one of the best kept secrets in gaming right there.
I feel like in the beginning, correct me if I'm wrong, Rio, but we did discuss it. Like beginning, like I'm talking about the start.
Oh,
But
like at the
there-
very like first fighter pass, I think people were talking about. But what about Hayachi? And then that was the only like Tekken thing that anyone.
Yeah.
ever
Oh
talked
yeah. Okay.
about.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
okay,
I think
alright,
that
yes.
podcast
And
we
then
had
just
like
axed
4
it.
years ago. That podcast we had like 4 years ago or whatever it was. We probably mentioned his name. Tide says Kuma for Smash. Yeah, Kuma, why not? The bear. But but at this particular moment in time, like the lead up to this year's E3, I don't think anybody had thought that it was gonna be Kazuya. I don't think Somebody would have thought that. I think what's scarier now is who's going to be the last, because after this, it's over apparently. So it's
And
kind
it's
of
not
How
going
do
to
you, how do
be.
you, how do you, how does that make you feel?
it's scary and it's exciting because it's like they got to be big because it's the last one, but also it's gonna be disappointing to over 90% of the people who play Smash.
Oh yeah,
It's
most
That's
definitely.
what she.
impossible
That's
to
what she said. That's what she said her
yeah
when she had her last ride. She said it got to be big.
This guy.
yeah it's probably gonna be a Nintendo
Anyway.
character. I think it's gonna be somebody from Nintendo, but at the same time it's never gonna be somebody that we all want because it's supposed to be somebody that's gonna bring new players to the game.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I'm ready for whatever comes, but it's scary. It's exciting.
There's no.
It's disappointing.
There's no reason for it to not be Crash.
Yeah, it could be.
There's no reason not to be, but I feel like it'll be a Nintendo character.
See, I
Hi, did you
stopped.
just mute me in the? Did you just mute me in the middle of a podcast for 1 minute? Oh, you know what?
It's okay. I got you soon. So, but I just what I figured to do like a long time ago, ever since the Smash ballots, is I just stop expecting what I want because that's the problem that a lot of the Smash community has, that entitlement of saying that, oh, well, this character deserves to be here over another character, or my
Yeah.
character I want deserves this, and that's like, bro, who even are you? like who said that there has to be certain kind of rules or obligations that the more like Sora or whatever, or Dante should get? I mean, we saw what happened to Dante. I actually laughed out loud. So,
Yeah.
that's but it's so ridiculous the way people think about it. So I just came up with, just don't. No matter what, somebody's going to be disappointed. So don't expect anything.
Yep.
Just
Yep.
appreciate it when it gets here.
Yep.
Yeah.
So far, I've been happy with every DLC character, though. I
Mhm.
even the ones who I will never play with and never really play their own game wherever they came from, like Steve in Minecraft or whatever.
Mhm.
I just think this is the best roster in any fighting game, and even if you don't think Smash is a fighting game, then it's still the best roster in any game ever in general.
Mhm.
Like you will not be able to. This is never gonna be contested, ever again. Probably. I don't think ever
Mhm.
we will see this collection of characters in a video game ever again after this.
No, just wait till Sony hits us with the PlayStation All Stars redub.
You
Redub.
imagine? You imagine?
I don't want to imagine, to be honest. I really
I don't either,
don't.
but that I don't know, man.
That could either be really good or really terrible.
It swings more towards very terrible just because of what happened before, but
Mhm.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
We'll see, I guess. Has it been a minute yet? Can Sin come out of the the void? No? Okay, good.
It sends Mike off or something. What's up, Sin? You still here?
No, he got muted in channel points.
Wait, what?
Yeah, yeah, it's a channel
That's
point
a thing?
reward. Yeah,
Are you
to
kidding
mute
me?
him.
Wait. You're kidding me. That's actually a thing. He can get muted and not talk in other people's group chat?
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck? I never
He
heard of
gives
this
chat
before.
much power.
Nova Trinity Wolf says, when it comes to the subject of Smash DLC, I personally wanted Goro Majima or Kiru Kazuma. So close to Kazuya, the stars are aligning. I don't know who either one of those characters are.
Kiryu is the like protag from what's the game called? Why am I blanking on the name right now? Yakuza, the Yakuza series.
Oh, you know who Goro is? Is that another Yakuza character?
I don't know for it. I'm pretty sure it is.
What's that? That's Sega. Not that I think that there's rules towards the DLC like Rio said, but I do think that we have an overabundance of Capcom characters already in Smash, and I think Sega is like not too far behind with
That's
the characters too. So
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that.
it's Coolio Julio.
I don't know. I feel like it's kind of niche. Yakuza is good. I think Yakuza is a good game for what I've seen, but I still think it's a little too niche to be in Smash.
Oh, I'm sorry. I timed him out in Marv's stream. All right, let me time him out on my stream too. Fuck you. I mean, screw you. Sorry about that.
Uh,
Mm,
wait.
the last.
Yeah. Yakuza. They brought out Yakuza for Wii U on in Japan. They didn't even bring it to America, that version, and apparently it sold really really bad on the Wii U, which you could blame it on the console itself. But I think after that, the creator of Yakuza just said, "All right, we can't do Nintendo stuff." Even though he's the director of F-Zero GX and Monkey Ball, I think that might have discouraged him from putting anything Yakuza related on Nintendo consoles again. But what? Yeah. Sin, did you tell us your thoughts on Kazuya yet?
No, I didn't get to speak at all. You know, it felt like a great feeling to just sit there and stare into the void. So I I still hold my belief firm from day one that Kazuya is gonna be a Peach and Daisy type of character, where you it depends on the player how much you could draw out of their out of their uniqueness, because it's a very unique character to what they can do, kind of like Peach and Daisy again. Um, it's a lot more intricate because you get boy do you get punished for incorrect inputs, and I feel as though right now people are really highly overreacting to the fact that he cannot be zoned and he can freaking kill you at 53 to 70, what is it, 52 to 73%. So it's like, just let it be where it is, and just for now, don't overreact. Enjoy the game like every other DLC. And I feel like it wouldn't have been Kazuya, but they definitely did it. They were just like, oh yeah, it's just gonna be Kazuya.
I mean, you already know it's the cycle of Smash where a character comes out, oh,
Yeah.
character is broken, and then people
Yeah.
actually play the game for a little bit more, and they're like, oh, actually, there's easy counterplay to this, so character not broken, I
It's
guess.
the same story with
yeah.
every single DLC character. It's like, yo, shut up already, man. Like,
Mhm.
it's the same thing with every single one that comes out. So I'm done with that conversation completely.
Yeah, every time. It never stops, yo. It never stops.
Hell, I still remember
It never
the
stops.
the hero falling up air memes, dude. So if you hit falling up air and then you can do this combo and you can get a 0 to death, okay. Hit falling up air in a real match.
I think Hero
Oh,
probably
you
got it the
can't.
worst. I think around the time Hero dropped, I didn't want to talk to anybody about Smash around that time because everybody was complaining. Everybody.
I feel like Hero, if they fix the language situation, I feel like Hero would be a top tier character. There's so many plays you can use with him that other characters cannot do, but thanks to the stupid language situation, we can't even find out. So
What's the language situation? What's wrong with him?
so if you take him to a tournament and the tournament is varied in attendance and population, you either you have it to adhere to one language. So if it's English, it's English. If Spanish, it's Spanish. And then there's gonna be players that don't only read English and don't only read Spanish.
Oh,
So
because you got to read the name of his moves. I never even thought of that. Wow, that's very true. That's very, very true. But then it would be like region based where he's like the best, then, right? Like if we're playing an only, I don't know, Japanese tournament, then you would be able to see the most of them, right? I'm assuming.
that's about as far as Hero goes. Yep.
Yeah, because I mean, as far as when it comes to tiers, you know how I feel about that. I don't really care too much for it. But if we were to put him in the tier, I don't know if he would be top tier. Because just like any RNG character, it's he needs his RNG to beat some characters. Like he against fast rank data characters like Sheik or Zero Suit, Hero's not doing anything unless he like quick RNG pulls out super explosion, 0 to death or something stupid. Especially
Titus
against
is
the gameplay.
Titus SB said, but back to Kuma for Smash. How lit would it be to swing a fish at someone like a baseball bat in Smash?
Can we ban this guy? Why is he a mod?
Yo, I love Tekken's diversity in his roster in general. Like a Mokujin, the tree guy, the rafter. Tekken takes itself super seriously, but then it has all these like joke characters that are like from different species and aliens and stuff. So it's funny, but
That's what,
damn, it's hard. It's
Yeah.
rough only being able to pick one Tekken character to be in Smash.
That's one of the biggest problems that we were discussing earlier. That Tekken has such diversity within its own niche, but yet when you take them out of their own context, it feel like there is no diversity. So it's a weird dichotomy.
Wait, when it's taken out of its own game, you mean like there's not like a lot of
Yeah, when you take the characters out of their own game, it feel like there is no diversity.
yeah,
I can kind of see that. Yeah.
I guess because when you pick out a character out of the list, you're gonna go with one of the mains, and which is like Kazuya, Heihachi, and Jin, and they all kind of play the same. But you could say that about any fighting game, kind of.
But within the game, they don't. That's the thing. Like within the game, they have their own uniqueness, but yet you take them out and put them in another franchise, and you're just like, you can't take
Yeah.
anybody who looks the same.
I think the only like transition that would mess that up would be like transitioning from Tekken to either a vertical fire or to Smash because it's a hybrid with, it's more positioning based. And as we see with Kazuya, like the way he works in Smash, like I could kind of see what you're saying, Sin, because in Tekken, it's kind of the subtle differences that set characters apart other than their lore itself. Because a lot of characters, like I said, the gameplay is very similar no matter what character you're playing, and that's very poke heavy. And then as soon as you touch them, they explode with damage.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not a lot of uniqueness to those small moves that you're doing in neutral all the time.
You'd be tempted to think that Street Fighter plays the same, but that actually you can feel the diversity without even without starting to remove them. Like you got Dao Sim, you got freaking Sagat, you got Bison, you got Ryu, Akuma, and Ken all play similarly. But they have their variations. So you have Goki. So like they have different projectiles, they have different approaches, they have different techniques. So at face value, if you take out a character from Street Fighter, they wouldn't feel so stagnant. But Tekken is one of those few fighters where I was worried when they bring over a character if they would be able to do it again in the future, and I feel like they wouldn't be able to.
I don't know.
But anyways,
I wouldn't even want more than one Tekken character in Smash.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
If there was any other Tekken character I'd want, it would be what's her name? Is the Mama
Nina?
Mishima character because she just summons a tiger sometimes.
Yeah, she's
And
cool.
I
She's
love
cool.
that.
She's cool. She doesn't have a long time in
but,
the series, but yeah, she's cool.
But guys, any comments? You guys want to leave? Please leave them on the YouTube or the live stream. Let's move on to the next topic. You want to bring it up, Arf?
What we got next? I don't even have the list in front of me. Let's see. We got freaking Metroid Dread, y'all. Holy smokes.
Oh yeah, dude.
For me, this is the biggest surprise of E3 of any show that they had. This was the showstopper for me. Like this is when I said Nintendo won with this one.
Yeah.
Not that I'm particularly the biggest fan of Metroid or the biggest fan of 2D Metroid either. But this was like the joke leading up to E3. Like, imagine they show a Metroid. Like, I felt like people were bumping elbows. Like, yo, you getting ready for this Metroid that's not coming? Like, bro, they freaking showed a Metroid, a 2D one on top of that. Like, holy, this is another one. No one could have saw this coming.
We're just gonna get a trailer,
bro. I don't think anybody saw this coming. I was watching Game Explain's E3 conversation, like pre E3, like, and they were joking like, yo, I have my house for Metroid, but I know that's not happening. And here we are, like in a post Metroid Dread, and they chose the title Metroid Dread, which is like a 15-year-old title. That
it's so good.
Yo, I cannot believe it. What do you guys think? Rio, what do you think about that?
It's quite interesting because I personally do not come from a very heavy like video game background, just because that's not really what I had growing up. So I actually had never fully played any Metroid game, but even still, I could recognize the hype of that game, and that just made me so excited when I saw it on the screen. It was so sick. So especially looking at the comparison of like whenever I'd watch DDQs and looking at the old, Metroid games and how they work, and looking at just the graphics, right? And then the cleanness of the movement and the animations and just the lighting and everything. Like it looks such a fantastic game. And then just hearing about the story of how this game was basically what, like 15, 20 years in the making, like they scrapped it before and now it's back. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, like you said, they just dropped this bomb. Like, oh yeah, by the way,
Boom.
15 years later, here's this game and it looks amazing. But yeah, I think it's so amazing. It's so sick.
I feel like I was caught by surprise because I thought they would never do another 2D game ish. Ever since Metroid Other M did so poorly. And I feel like Nintendo's out of touch when it comes to understanding their fans and that demand in that regard. Which will lead to a conversation later down the line when we have a different podcast. It's so Nintendo's so backwards when it comes to their gaming. Because to them creating AAA title games is so easy, and it comes to them so easy. But when it comes to being friendly to their own fan base, they do some of the most egregious things possible. Like if it was any other community doing it, Sony, whatever, but they'd be spiked. Like the only reason the Samus Return to Samus was a thing.
You had it right the first
then the
time.
only reason Metroid Dread, huh?
I said you had it right. You had it right. The title.
The only reason even the Metroid Dread exists is because Nintendo axed the independent games that were gonna be made, hired one of the people from the indie game that was being made, and then we're like, here, work on this, we'll pay you. And Nintendo's way too harsh with their traditionalism when it comes to that. That being said, Metroid needs a shot in the arm, kind of like Star Fox and kind of like F-Zero. And this is going to be it. I feel as though I'm happy that it is a sequel. I'm happy that it continues the Metroid lore. I'm sad to see that it is going to finish the Metroid lore as we know. Maybe they'll continue it somehow. It is called Metroid after all. I'm also happy to see that Samus is no longer indestructible, as just like in Fusion. She can literally be just destroyed by a multitude of things, and that drives home the dread, and that's what I want. I want to fear for my life as I'm getting stronger, and I want to explore as I figure out the ins and outs of the secrets.
The game is actually being developed by Mercury Stream though, and they made Metroid Returns for 3DS. So not really an indie developer. They actually worked on Castlevania games before. Before Nintendo hired them for Metroid. They made a good 2D Castlevania game for 3DS called I think it was Mirrors of Fate or something like that. Someone in the chat could correct me. I think I know I'm wrong. But I think they were a perfect pick for Metroid, honestly. Like they modernized it a bit. They gave you the analog gaming for the game, and I don't know. They seem like they're kicking ass with it since the 3DS game.
Marv, are you keeping timestamps, by the way?
No. But Robbie's got it. He's got this.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel Nova says Nintendo needs to be more embracing to fan. Needs to be more embracing to fan games like Sega is. Yeah, absolutely. Nintendo is. I feel like Nintendo gets away with so much because we associate them with our childhood so much, kind of like a Disney dichotomy, that we let them slide with way too much. If it was any other company, we would be on their ass. Like, it is ridiculous how many things they do to us as a community, and Smash Bros. Being the perfect example.
In their defense, not when it comes to like fan stuff though. I don't know about the fan stuff. But in their defense for not bringing out Metroid more often, is that the Metroid games have actually sold less and less as times went on. So this one is definitely throwing us a bone. This is like, here fans, you like for the few fans that are out there for Metroid, here's your bone. You know what I'm saying?
It is their fault though. It is their fault. They over the years they have not done marketing for the game properly. And
Yeah,
the only one they did marketing properly for was Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. and that one did well. So
No, that one
I
did
don't
bad,
feel
bro.
bad for
That
Nintendo.
one did bad. Metroid Prime 3 actually sold the least of all the Metroid Prime.
Was it Prime 3 or Corruption? Which one was it?
Prime 3 is Corruption, but all the Prime games have sold less and less as they come out.
I forget which
Mhm.
one it was now.
The best selling Metroid game is Super Metroid, and that game still sold bad. So the Metroid games, all of them have sold less and less
I
as time went on.
I stand corrected.
But the few fans that do love Metroid are loud. So this is
Mhm.
Nintendo catering to the few fans and maybe gaining some new fans for the series. Like Rio said, he didn't grow up on
Mhm.
Metroid, so well, if he gives it a shot, then it's like, all right, well now new people are in, and maybe we can make another one again. So hopefully
Yeah,
this
I
one gains
believe.
some new people.
Yeah, I believe now is a very important time with a game, especially with a game like Metroid, where it's time. Like I want to say it's kind of throwing a bone, but it's more so like throwing out some bait out there to see if people are going to hook onto it because
Yes,
this
yes,
is an important. It may not seem that important, but for the series itself, I think it's very important for the fans of that game to come stronger than they ever have. Don't
yes.
don't be like, oh yeah, this is hype, and then don't buy the game. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're like, oh, I'm just gonna wait for Metroid Prime 4 or whatever. That should no, dude. Buy Metroid Dread, right? Spread news about it. You know, even if Nintendo doesn't do the marketing that they should, still try to get the news about this game out there if you want to see more from it. Because I like how Sin likes to talk about the, kind of like the business side of things and the things that Nintendo does. So I tend to like to come from also the flip side of it because there's always two sides to everything.
Everything.
So as well as Nintendo needs to do the things that they need to do, the fans need to do the things that they need to do as well.
Drop a bomb for that. Couldn't have said that better
That
myself.
yo, just hold up. Let me scroll up. Uh, what did he say? Oh, it's not letting me scroll up. What? Oh, okay. I can't scroll up, so forget it. Um, while F-Zero fans are just inhaling the ashes.
Mm.
But that's another series that has sold less and less every go around. So, but you just have to be loud. Metroid fans at least are loud. I don't think F Zero fans are that loud about F Zero.
Mhm.
I don't think they're going to social media every day and like, where's F Zero? And we don't know if
Just a
Metroid
nut
Prime 4 is
said.
ever coming out.
Just a nut says the real question is how throwback are they gonna be with Metroid Dread? Because I remember that Samus was stripped down to her bare body in the original. You're bound.
Bare body? What does that mean? Naked?
Yeah, she would be the underwear.
Oh wait, yeah. When she dies, her
Rules.
suit would explode, and yeah, whatever.
This
Um,
one.
but
Right.
but yeah, like even Metroid Prime 4, if Metroid Dread doesn't sell that well, they might even just say, why are we even investing in Metroid Prime 4? Like that could lead
Yeah,
to that.
kind of like what they did with Star Fox. They literally did low effort Star Fox Zero because they were just like, you know what, you aren't buying it, but we need to keep the licenses alive. So here you go.
I mean, they tried again with that other game. Was it Starlink? Where they had the Star
Oh,
Fox
that
DLC.
one was so good. Oh, that was so
And
good. That was
I
so
feel
good.
like people didn't grab onto that like they should have.
Yo, they should
I
have just
really
made
I
that
mean,
an entire Star
it's
Fox
so
game.
decently well.
But if you ask me, that game should have just been from scratch an entire Star Fox game.
true.
I don't
I
think you
agree.
needed all those OC characters. Like I don't think you needed all that. David in the chat says, which is my boy, he says it's gonna be tough to make a really good modern F Zero game. I don't think you could make a good modern racing game. But that's my
Yes, you
opinion.
can.
I
Well,
don't
they
know.
tried
I don't know.
the what was that game called? There was a game that came out early on the Switch that was kind of like F Zero, but
Fast Racing FX.
Fast
yeah,
Neo.
that game. I feel like I don't know. I feel like that could be a good example of a waters being tested on that
It definitely
audience.
was.
And like I said, outside of you and like a few other people, I didn't really hear much about that game. So I
Bro,
don't know if that
It
tells
did
me
all right.
for F Zero, but
I talk
uh,
about this every couple episodes. I feel like racing games are dead on consoles. That's like for mobile games, just like for
Yes.
indie stuff. I'm not paying $70 to hold X, bro. Like that's not that.
If they brought it down to $30, that'd be more palatable.
Yeah, $30. I'm good. I'll do that. I'm not paying $70 to hold X, bro,
Well,
or A
I
or
think the
whatever
best
button.
thing they could do for F-Zero is don't worry about the story. Don't try to make something new out of that. Just give us an arcade racer that's cheap so that you can try to build traction for the game to see if this is what you really want to go for and people still want it. Right? If they just did F-Zero arcade, where you just pick whatever character and just do some races like arcade mode, whatever, and you buy it for like 20, $30. That'd be a good entry level test to just see the market on this.
With
But
on
to
with
not do
online.
anything, yeah, with
With
online,
online,
but to
yeah.
not do anything is not the move in my opinion.
I could get behind that. I get behind that.
True, to be fair, it could be expanded like Star Fox did, like with Star Fox Adventures. Yeah, I feel like when they did Star Fox Adventures, even though it didn't sell as good as they wanted it to, it was a step in the right direction to add some variety to the franchise. But the problem is how Nintendo, again, they shoot themselves in the foot when they start with innovation. They tend to do that quite often, in fact, where they'll make a game, it has great insert here stuff, and then they'll just be like, by the way, this has no online, or by the way, this has no DLC, or by the way, there is going to be none of the original stuff. So there's so many steps that they just like shoot themselves in the foot, and we excuse them way too much as fans.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed.
So we have next is the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 trailer. Rio, you want to lead on this?
So, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. It's been so long since we've seen that game again, but what we did get to see did open up a lot of interesting ideas that we did not, that personally I didn't think that they would go for. First of all, Hyrule Castle is floating now. So that's a thing.
Yeah, like what's happening?
I guess Ganon's going to space, dude. Like, I'll never know. Link, or at least who we assume to be Link, is there seems to be some kind of like skylofty futureness going on. Link now has a crippled arm. I don't know. There's so much going on with the trailer that it's hard to like get a conclusive idea of what do you guys expect that it's going to be, compared to the first one.
I don't even know, man. I see that they are definitely playing with the mechanics again because Breath of the Wild is a game about physics and mechanics and how they interact with each other. And they're holding to that. Like I see them giving Link new abilities that he's definitely going to be able to use to traverse and to interact with everything around them. Um, I have very little to say about this game, but I know it's going to be good. I don't know. I feel like a lot of Breath of the Wild clones have popped up since Breath of the Wild, and this is just blowing them all out of the water, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Even the little
Right.
that they've shown, and then there's a lot of mystery behind it too. Like, why didn't they show Link's face in the gameplay sections of the trailer? Like, is he gonna
Yeah,
have
that was weird.
is he gonna
Yeah,
have some like scar
some
on his
people.
face? Like, what's up with that?
I know I heard some people are speculating that it's supposed to be it might end up being a younger version of Ganon, Ganondorf rather. I always get confused about which one is which. Since we
Ganon is the pig form. Ganondorf is the human form.
Mm-hmm.
right, so since we did see Beef Jerky Ganondorf, and we were like, what's up with that? And someone made an interesting point that when they talk about the story, when you first play Breath of the Wild, and they talk about the story of the war that happened like 100 years ago, the hero that they show that fought in that battle has red hair in the image.
Mm-hmm.
Link doesn't have red hair,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought that was a pretty interesting point. Man,
Yeah, there's so many
I'm
mysteries
a
there.
Rosa.
I don't know.
we'll
There's
see.
there's so many mysteries there, and I don't think they could do any wrong with the game. Dave, listen to chat says I predict Breath of the Wild 2 will be the most story heavy Legend of Zelda game. Well, people did want more story from Breath of the Wild. I personally didn't, but a lot of people were like, "Yo, where was the story at?" But I
Mm,
wasn't in that camp. But If it is, it is. I mean, that's not something I would be mad if they added more story. But
I mean, I feel like if they keep it about Breath of the Wild ish story wise, we should be good to go.
Mm. Do y'all think the Master Sword is still gonna play a part in it?
I don't know,
No.
man. I don't know because you have a magic arm now, which gets rid of the Sheikah Slate. That's gonna be
Mm.
your main magic powered whatever to interact with everything. I don't know if having the magic sword even matters at that point. And I don't want it to
Mm.
be like a situation where new game, lose all your items again. Like
Oh
the
yeah.
good thing about Breath of the Wild was like your items really didn't matter. Like you can get through the game off wit alone, like just picking up stuff off the ground and making it work.
Hmm.
So, magic sword or not, that really doesn't matter. Like to me, I don't know.
How do you think they're gonna get rid of Link's items if that's the actual
Link
Link?
Link doesn't have a collection of items like he did in other games. So
True.
Oh,
it's
that's
not.
true. That's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
it's not like he went to a dungeon and got the bombs, or went to a dungeon and got freaking the chain and ball and chain or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Everything was pick up as you go, and it's gonna break eventually. So don't even get too attached to it.
Right.
So
That's true.
that really doesn't matter if he gets rid of everything or whatnot.
We think the Breath of the Wild 2 will be the most story heavy LOS game. LOC. I feel like that's true because this is supposed to be the end of the lore. And I would love it if we know the ending and then like obviously in the future we go back to the past. So that'd be great. Let's see. I would what I wouldn't doubt if they said the one with red hair was Link ancestor. Nintendo has a bit of history of doing that kind of stuff. Nintendo has people think that Nintendo has purposefully done the whole lore with the Legend of Zelda set up for years and years, and that's not even true. It's not
Yo,
really
Mm.
true
yo,
at all.
Miyamoto does not care about story, and he's not involved with Zelda as much anymore. But he kind of laid that groundwork for them not to be tied to any lore too closely. So that's why Breath of the Wild doesn't really fit properly in any timeline. So I kind of hope they
Yeah,
don't.
Noom was forcing it.
I kind of
No.
hope they don't go so heavy into story like that. David says any chance it'll be darker than Majora's Mask. I don't even need it to be
Mm.
dark like that. Like I don't need it
Yeah.
to go into that. For me, it's not
I
even
kind of
about
want it to be.
it's not about the story. Like it's not about none of that stuff. It's about the traveling and the mechanics and interactions with everything. Like getting around in Breath of the Wild, it still feels amazing. I'm playing it now. I'm in a gameplay playthrough right now. It's not about none of that
Oh,
stuff. It's just about just getting around and exploring and doing whatever the fuck you want, anywhere you want, at
nice.
whatever
Mm.
point you want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you get the appeal of it. The fact that the game appeals to whoever you want, whenever you want, however you want. That was the appeal of the original Zelda that came back in
Yeah.
'86,
I don't know what's up
and
with
that's what they were
people.
going for, and they did it greatly.
Yeah, what?
Yeah.
Who
It's
cares
not like
about this story? What do you want? What do you want? A freaking Academy Award over here? Robert De Niro as Link, Renee Zellweger as Zelda. Nah, man, who cares, bro? Like, just play the game, go around, go shoot stuff, skateboard with your shield down a hill, and have fun,
hell
man.
yeah. Yeah, I think the way Zelda has always been set up is just there's a story element set up at the beginning, and then there's story elements running parallel to your adventure, and then an end, right? But whatever you do in between that time is up to you, as long as you get to the end. So and
Well,
oh
for
yeah, so probably the most important question in this whole segment, will Zelda be playable?
I want her to be,
I would love for that to be. Yes, I would love for that to be true.
but I think this would have been the trailer to show it though. Like the fact that they haven't shown it.
Honestly, no. I think the fact that they haven't shown it is a good thing because that's why they didn't show Link's face, just to have you question. And now that Zelda has unlocked her powers, why not freaking use her?
I don't know, because the trailer shows her falling down a hole, and I feel like it's gonna be another rescue story. Like rescue
I
her from
can't.
the
Please,
hole.
no,
I
no.
hope not too. I hope I'm not. Oh, we gotta go save Zelda again. Let's go put on our big boy pants and go save Zelda. I hope it's not like that. Maybe she travels through a different path than Link because she went down. Goes up apparently. So that would be
Mm.
cool if they're in different worlds or different dimensions or whatever. But I don't know if she's playable, then it has to be in the next trailer or whenever they drop that, because the game is 2022, right?
I believe
Mhm.
so.
Yeah, the next trailer would be the one.
All
So
right, guys, we're at the halfway point of the podcast. If you guys got to get a drink or a snack, go right ahead. I'm gonna play a commercial. If you don't want commercials, you know what you got to do? You got to sub to Marv on YouTube or Spotify or Apple or Twitch. Make sure you go ahead and do that on Bravery Arcade,
Ra.
and we'll continue talking about this.
Yeah, Ra. You smart, son. You be doing smart stuff, bro.
Thank you.
How you got so smart?
Okay.
You went to
My
kindergarten?
brain, my.
No, he ate all his Wheaties when he was a kid, dude.
Yeah, man. I see that, man. I see that. How you fit that brain in that mask, bro? How you fit it in there?
Bruh, I have to squeeze it in there.
I can tell, man. I can tell. You know, there's a lot of
So,
brains in there.
so let's go ahead and continue this. So next, Marv, you want to kick this one off?
Let's see what we got over here. Let's see. Mario Party Superstars. This is a good thing. This game is definitely a good thing, and it's a return to form, and it's kind of a nostalgia trip for a lot of us people that have been playing Mario Party since its inception. What I will say is it's kind of short on maps though, which I think they should have. I think it only has like 5 maps or something like that. So if for those that don't know, the game is sort of like a greatest hits of mini games from throughout the Mario Party series. I think it goes up to Mario Party 3 in correct me if I'm wrong. It only goes up to Mario Party 3, right? Between all the mini games it has. So, you're gonna be able to play online. You're gonna be able to play the greatest hits of Mario Party mini games, and you're gonna be able to play the greatest hits of Mario Party boards or maps, whatever you want to call them.
With the actual first time online servers that they made.
Well, Mario Party, Super Mario Party has online now, so that might have been a testing.
No. The only game that used the new Nintendo servers was Monster Hunter Rise.
Oh, you're talking about the servers? I thought you meant online. Because Super Mario
Mm-hmm.
Party, you could play online now. They just added that like a month or two ago.
Yeah, I remember seeing or hearing about that.
Yeah, and it plays online pretty
Uh,
well. They took out a lot of the rhythm based games because it's hard to hit the timing right on it. But as far as Super Mario Party, not Super Mario Party, as far as this game goes, it's there's not much I really could say about it except that it's a good thing and it's definitely something I wouldn't mind playing with some friends like online. Just for the fact
Mhm.
that it's the greatest hit, you're gonna be able to play with through mini games and maps that you remember from like your childhood. I don't know if there's a lot there for people that are coming in new, but definitely good for me. I like this. I like this a lot. What do you guys think?
yeah, go ahead, Rio.
Oh no, I mean it's basically the same thing as Marv was saying. It's just a nostalgia trip for a lot of people. Seeing all those classic courses and HD and all those games that you remember. Getting pissed about as a child. Just coming back into fruition, making new friendships, breaking old friendships.
Word, word.
Games from having good RNG, it's just I mean it is what it is, and then now we'll be able to do it online. So that's something that we didn't have, access to back in the day. It was just
and they're
whoever was
and
there.
they're actually using boards.
And
Yeah,
they're
so
actually letting you use a controller. Like the Super Mario Party is a great game. Like it's short on content, but it is a good fun game. But the fact that you can only play it with Joy Cons kind of was a damper because I don't know. There's just some times where like I don't want to hold a little Joy-Con sideways
yeah,
to play a game.
I feel it. I feel you.
Yeah, like I wouldn't mind giving me options, and you can't even play it on the Switch Mini. You can't even play it on there at all.
Really?
Well, no, you could play it, but you have to have a Joy-Con. Like you have to buy one separately to
But you
play it.
can't use the Nintendo Joy-Con, like the dock controller thing. You know what I'm talking about? I might
You
have
can't
it here.
you can't play with the Joy-Cons if they're attached to the console.
Here, I might have.
What?
You remember? Well, let me see. Real
In
quick.
Super Mario Party, you can't play with the Joy-Cons if they are attached to the console. So that means if you have a Switch Mini, you have to have a separate Joy-Con to play the game because all the games require you to hold the Joy-Con a certain way. It's kind of how Wario Smooth Moves worked on the Wii, if you remember how that worked out.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't even use the because remember I don't remember if the Switch came with it, but it came with that little like controller shape thing that you slid the Joy Cons into.
No, you could
And you
use
could
that. You
control
you
it.
you could
Oh,
definitely
okay,
use that,
okay.
but it kind of would be pointless because every mini game tells you to hold the Joy-Con a different way.
Right.
So
Okay,
using
I
it
see.
with grips or using it inside of some type of adapter doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, I feel you.
So it limited how you could play the game. You know what I'm saying? So now you can play with any controller you want in this version. And I think a big question is: are they gonna bring back mini games that had you like rolling your palm on the joystick like on the
Oh yeah,
64?
the mashing games, dude. The
Yeah,
actual mash games, dude.
the ones that gave you like a blister in the middle of your palm. So they'll
They
probably
were.
change the controls
You
for
be
it.
trying to play, you just bleeding all over your controller.
And they're gonna have to make these controllers a little bit more durable. You know, they want us to be doing that again.
Nintendo, fix your damn Joy-Con drift.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
even that. Have you heard about like the Pro controller issue? How like it basically the thumbstick itself like grinds itself to dust from just being continuously used, like just normal usage.
Oh man, that
Yeah.
has to be a thing of the material they use to build the controller.
Yeah, it's like if
If it's
you
like sanding itself down.
I don't know if you can see it on my camera, but if you just grab your Pro controller and look under the thumbstick, oh, you can actually see it pretty well. You might see like white dust, and that's the controller actually grinding itself down.
Oh yeah, I can see it. I can see it
Making
a lot
itself.
on yours. I see a little bit of it on mine, but I don't play too many games that are like joystick intensive like that. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, shout out to Super Mario Party. What is this game called again? I can't even remember the name off the top. Superstars.
Superstars.
They're not doing a good job with the titling anymore. I can tell you that much. Cause Super Mario Party, then this one is called Superstars. There needs to be. I understand they don't want to call it Mario Party 10 or Mario Party 11 because it sounds like damn, these games have been going on forever.
Just call it Mario Party, man.
Yeah, just Mario Party.
Maybe you could just give it a year name or something, like 2004 or whatever. I
Yeah,
don't
because they
know.
just had was it Mario All Stars or whatever the like collection with Galaxy and 64 and whatever.
3D All Stars is what they called
Yeah,
it.
All
Yeah.
Stars. Like, just stop it. Just stop it.
I also think that Mario Party games need to start having downloadable content.
Mm,
Because look at the competition that Mario Party has come up against recently with Fall Guys and what's the other one with the aliens in space, Among Us. Those are
yeah,
kind of in that realm of like the multiplayer online games that mini games. Those are kind of like
Yeah,
they're kind of showing Nintendo how to do it when Nintendo kind of
that
built it themselves. They kind of built this realm. So I
that's
think
the part that Nintendo obsessed me about, which I mentioned prior. The simple part that they should be perfecting is that, and they don't. Like they should have online working wonders, and they just don't.
like yo, just make the games a platform themselves that you continuously update instead of making me buy a new Mario Party every couple years. Like yo, just add new maps, add new
mhm.
characters, and give the game skins. That way, people can cosmetically spend money on the game, and then you'll make your money back, Nintendo. Like you'll make it. You don't have to make a new Mario Party every couple years, because that's why we have this horrible naming system. Because they've run out of names for the freaking game. They've made so many. They've made so many Mario parties that it's like, oh, damn, what are we gonna call this one now? It's like roll of dice.
Mario Party Hangover.
At
Takeover.
this point, but yeah, I feel like Mario Party, Smash, Mario Kart, these games should all be like just unlimitedly being updated, like until a new console arrives, and then you have the new version. You have that console's iteration of this game. But I don't know, man. I don't know why they don't just go with that flow for it, but it is what it is.
So
Um,
Rio, you want to talk about Advance Wars?
Who?
Well, we're skipping one there. You see it, right?
Wait, which
Wait,
one?
which one?
WarioWare. Get it together.
Oh, okay.
Together.
So that game, yo, I gotta get it together. So guys, we got WarioWare Get It Together coming out for the Switch. Oh my goodness, is this a treat? I've been wanting a WarioWare game for quite some time, and not only does it look fun, but it looks like it's holding true to its roots. It is 4-player online. It has mini games that have the variety that we always expect. Um, I don't care much for something like Wario Land when that came out, but I do care for these mini games. It just looks so good. What do you guys think?
I agree. I've always liked the quirkiness of these games. I haven't actually gone and brought too many of them. I had Wario Smooth Moves because it was one of the few Wii games like around launch time. But I didn't get the GameCube one. I didn't get any of the handheld ones. This one, it looks like it's gonna be more character specific. Before you jump in the game randomly throws mini games at you that you just gotta like try to figure out complete like off rip. We have like 1 second to figure out what the game is. This one, now that you can choose a character and every character has specific abilities, it seems like you're gonna be able to kind of come in to any mini game knowing what you got to do. But it also gives you the opportunity to play online because there wasn't a lot of multiplayer potential in the earlier WarioWare games, from what I understand. Maybe you guys can correct me because like I said, I
Man,
haven't played too many of them.
there's not a lot of potential with Nintendo Online in general. They just need to get on top of it.
Well, I mean, but specifically Wario games in the past, how would you have even pulled off online on those kind of games? Like
You
they don't
wouldn't.
really lend themselves too much to multiplayer component because they kind of were mini. They're micro games. They're not even mini games. They're micro. They're like 5 second games that you just got to do back to back off rip fast. So,
Yeah, I think definitely for couch co-op, it was okay, or it would be okay back then.
Yeah.
But online co-op, like I don't know. I don't know. WarioWare is an interesting game. It's definitely probably one of Nintendo's most unique games.
If they use a new service, we probably won't have to worry about that.
well, I don't think the
So
online service was the issue. I just think the way the games kind of unraveled because in the past games it'd be like you have 5 seconds, press the L and R buttons fast and see what happens. When you're in that kind of like a full screen version of the game and you're using the controller in different methods and different styles with every single a game micro game that you're playing, when player two is playing with you, they're playing their own version of the game rather than kind of being involved with the same space that you are. Whereas in Mario Party, if you're playing a mini game together, and let's say you guys have to outrun each other, you can like kind of see like, all right, I'm ahead of him because I'm like running past him because I'm tapping A faster than him. Where that's not necessarily the case in Mario WarioWare games. They're not kind of built in a Mario Party style.
yeah, it's
If that's what I
more
mean.
less constructive. Right?
Yeah, it's like I'm playing my game, he's playing his game, and we're sharing the screen, but it's not about like if I beat him in the race, for
Yeah,
example.
you don't want to wind up in that position.
So yeah, like I said, it looks like they're changing the style of WarioWare, where now you're picking a character. That character has abilities. You have to master this character to kind of beat these mini games because you in your multiplayer space will have to play on the same board as the other player. It's kind of hard to explain unless it's like there's a visual to accompany it, but I guess when the game
It
comes out,
works.
you'll be able to see it more closely.
It works well with a Switch. The Switch is like the epitome of what Mario Party can work with. Like imagine everybody bringing a Switch with their own unique privacy to the game.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, there's I don't even know, but yeah, WarioWare. That's a good pick. That was a good showing this year, and I think that one was kind of hinted at because I think Nintendo ran a poll a week or two before E3 to see if people wanted a new WarioWare game. So I think this was like the one of the few games off the list that Nintendo showed that people were able to guess was going to show up.
Yeah, sure. That's true. So Rio, you want to talk about Advance Wars?
All right. So Advanced Wars, if you don't know what Advanced Wars is, think of Fire Emblem, but with little cute military tanks and anime characters. So Advanced Wars, from what I'm looking at now, is a game that was developed for the Game Boy Advance Switch. Unfortunately, I did not own one of those, but it was a game that was liked by a lot of people, and like most of actually, I'm noticing a lot of the Nintendo Direct that they showed was a huge like nostalgia trip, to be
Yeah,
honest. So
yeah.
like they got a bunch of bonus points just for nostalgia. So it's gonna be, I think it's the first two games that they're rebooting, and with new graphics, all the characters look nice. It looks pretty fun. At first, I was a bit put off by it because it just kind of looked like a mobile game. But then I started thinking about it. I was like, multiplayer PvP might actually be kind of fun.
That's
And
gonna be
then,
amazing. That's gonna be amazing.
yeah, it's nice. It's
Advan-
simple. It's nice.
Nova says Advance War got me sleep. You bugging.
I guess you would have had to be there to know what it's about. But it's a
Mhm.
sister series to Fire Emblem. It doesn't have that deep story and it doesn't have deeper characters like Fire Emblem and stuff like that. But Advance Wars has actually been around since the Super Nintendo. It was Japan only. It was called Famicom Wars
Mhm.
back then.
I,
But this is
I was,
this is
I
good.
was, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say this is good. This is another testing the waters kind of game because they're
Mhm.
not new games. They're porting the first two Game Boy games to the Switch, which is odd because I would have thought even the third one would have been good to bring along too. I think it was the one that was a little more serious and gritty and realistic. But
Mhm.
this is definitely a testing the waters kind of thing. That's why the budget is kind of low. The graphics look kind of like a mobile game, and it does kind of still look like a Game Boy game. But if you go back and play the Game Boy one, it looks like what it is for its time. This game definitely looks better than
Right.
it did back then. But this is a good pick. This is a good one to pull out of the hat, and if people buy it, I bet you would get more, and I bet you we'll get deeper games like Fire Emblem
Ooh,
style.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely do think so, and that's one thing I do enjoy about Nintendo is sometimes like I spent hours searching the Nintendo eShop like a month or so ago, literal hours, and just the sheer amount of games that are available to play on the Switch actually hurts my head. Now, they're not all good games. I can tell you, they're not all good games, but just the fact that there's so many options, especially when it comes to nostalgia, even though they don't have all the ones we want, I'm looking at you, Mario Galaxy 2. But anyway, but you know what I mean? There's just a lot of these options that we have available to us, and something like Advanced Wars being a classic comeback that
Oh
maybe
my
some
goodness,
it's just,
Galaxy.
it's nice, dude. It's nice.
Yeah, yeah, this is a good pick. Like I said, I hope that it sells, and I hope that we get more Advanced War games. Because if Fire Emblem is flourishing, there's no reason that Advanced Wars shouldn't be flourishing alongside it. I will
Mhm.
say that we probably need a Advanced Wars character in Smash for it to really get the. I mean, that's the only reason Fire Emblem got big, right?
I
Martha
got
and Roy and Melee. So if we got Andy from Advanced Wars in Smash, I bet you the series would do a lot better. It'll
Yo,
probably
just
light it up.
have Indy Fox start into a mic for promotion for the game.
I already know.
Sure.
Now, when's the Nintendo VTuber, dude?
The it'll be cool. I think he would make perfect sense in Smash. Imagine he's the last character for the Smash Pack 2
Yeah.
DLC.
It
That'd
just
be
has
awesome.
has
Yeah.
Steve side B, except it's a tank. It'd be sick.
It would probably have to be, right? Because he doesn't do any actual fighting in the game. He's a general and just sends out commands. But if every button press or command is sending out troops to do a different thing, I think that would be pretty
Mhm.
cool. He'd be like a setup character or whatnot.
Yeah, it'd be
Dude, we
interesting.
got Duck Hunt. We got Duck Hunt for heaven's sake.
Oh, they can make any character work. Sakurai could make
Oh,
it
yeah.
work with anybody. It's just about who do they want to promote, what's the politics, what DLC character is going to bring more players to the series, and what character can Smash Brothers use to promote their own series.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
all right, can we talk about what we didn't see at E3 and what we thought we were going to see? Because we had a predictions episode sin right before E3. Do you remember that?
Uh,
You dead on me, Sin. Come on, wake up, wake up.
bro, no, I'm not dead. I'm mad.
Okay,
So, bro, the Switch Pro, what happened?
bingo. That was my first one. We got so many predictions. We got that chick, I forgot her name, that always is right about her predictions for Nintendo stuff. She totally dropped the ball because she said that there was going to be a Switch Pro announcement the week before E3. That didn't happen, so that was a lie. What else didn't we get? We didn't get no Metroid Prime 4. We didn't get no Bayonetta 3. We didn't get I didn't get anything from Mario at all. Or anybody in Mario's camp. No Yoshi, no Luigi, no nothing there. We also didn't get I think there was a rumor of a Resident Evil exclusive to the Switch, which didn't happen.
That didn't happen either.
Rio, were there any games that you heard about or that you wanted to show up that didn't show up?
Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back.
Yeah. No, I don't. I can't really put my finger on anything that I was thinking about that would either get ported or would come back from the past. Because honestly, it's been, I don't know, it's been kind of a dry spell when it comes to like games to be hyped for. Like it's kind of been the same thing for like the past 2 or 3 years. Metroid 4, Bayonetta 3. You know, it did on repeat. You know, I mean, they did show the new Mario Rabbids game. I mean, that's cool, I guess.
That did happen, yeah, and that didn't make
Yeah,
it to our
that's
list,
pretty cool.
but that did happen. It happened at Ubisoft show,
Yeah, but
which is
nothing I
interesting.
could really think about that I was expecting or anything. I actually was expecting Bayonetta 3 to at least be shown. I was expecting that.
I wasn't so much expecting it, but I wouldn't have been bothered if it was there. That might be
Yeah.
a Game Awards game though, because it was revealed at Game Awards if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
Do you think that the pandemic had this is where we're starting to feel the delays or the months that people had to take off from work?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. And I think that's something that a lot of people need to understand is just general game development things and how even the small hitch in the game production process can make huge delays going towards the future. And I won't go too much into depth with that, but it's just something got to understand that these corporations are not ran by robots; they're ran by humans.
Bingo.
So the pandemic doesn't just affect us; it affects them too. And they have to work hard to try to get us at least something to enjoy, so that they just don't go under as a business. But I do definitely think the pandemic, this is where we're feeling it at,
This
and
is
I feel
definitely
like.
it.
Okay. And I feel like Nintendo so far has done a decent job, recovering from it, at least with the past E3, we just saw that we're talking about. Other companies, kind of, it's on the fence.
I think they all got hit because I didn't see anything good from any other
Yeah.
company out there. To be honest, I was surprised Nintendo had a good showing in general. But I
Mhm.
think 2021 is gonna go down as one of the worst years in gaming because there is literally nothing. Now that Metroid's coming out in October, I am hyped for that. But I say there was literally nothing that's excited me or got me hyped this entire year. Nova
Mhm.
Trinity Wolf brings up a good point. No DK, sadly, I was hoping for that. There were a
Yeah.
lot of
Mhm.
rumors that the Mario Odyssey team was working on a DK game, and we were all guessing whether it was going to be 2D or 3D. Guess what? It was no D because we didn't get no DK.
Actually just non-existent,
It
dude.
was non-existent. There was no DK game, and honestly, E3 was probably the only place you could have revealed the game like that. I don't think Game
Mhm.
Awards or the Tokyo Game Show is the place to announce a new DK game. Um, even
Yeah,
though
not
we
even any ports of the old ones either for like the virtual console on the Switch.
no, we also didn't get any new consoles on the quote unquote Switch Virtual Console, if you want to call it that. I would have thought
Mhm.
we would have gotten already Game Boy Advance games or maybe Nintendo 64 games on the Switch Online service. How we like how we have NES and SNES, but no, nothing,
Mhm.
nothing on that
Yeah,
front at all.
yeah, it's been kind of dry, dude. We've been kind of dry.
It is. Sin, you back with us?
Yeah, what's up?
Do you remember the rumors about a Donkey Kong game that was gonna get announced?
Oh my god. No DK, no Switch Pro, which I'm salty about. we listen, this is such a marketable time for them to release a Switch Pro and they just didn't. Don't understand why, but this is gonna come back and bite them in the ass, quite literally.
A Switch Pro though, you could announce it outside of E3, I think, and it would still be a
Mm.
big thing. A Donkey Kong game, I don't think you could just drop a Donkey Kong trailer on YouTube. It would make waves, but not as big as of a wave as it would have at E3, I think.
Mhm.
Um we didn't get anything in that front. There was another thing that I was thinking of that they didn't do that I would have liked. But also I think that the Switch Pro thing could that also be delayed because of the chip shortage because of the pandemic?
Potentially,
Yeah, absolutely.
I think definitely potentially. At the same time, I don't like to. In general, I just don't like listening to rumors or rumors of things.
Yo, thank you for the
Getting
follow, by the way.
yeah, and building hype around that just because of situations like this where it's like, oh, I heard this, now I'm gonna get hype about it, and then they don't show it, and I'm like, oh, I'm sad now.
Well,
So
that Donkey Kong rumor definitely had my curiosity because I couldn't imagine what a new Donkey Kong game would have looked like outside of what Tropical Freeze and DK Returns was. Like if the Mario team was making it, I would have hoped it would have been a 3D game. And what would a
yeah,
3D Donkey Kong game look like today? Like what would that be like?
has there ever been a 3D
It was
DK
one
game?
64, and
Was it really
it
now?
wasn't that.
Wait,
It's all right. It's not
wait,
bad.
what are you talking about? What are you talking about? DK?
3D
Yeah.
Donkey Kong game.
Donkey Kong 64 was decent.
It was decent, yeah.
It was decent. That's all I can say.
Yeah, it just was decent. It wasn't bad. We got the DK rap out of it, so I think that's
True.
that's a win right there. So, but yeah, my curiosity was at peak meter when they said that we might get a new Donkey Kong game from the Mario Odyssey team. So that was disappointing on that front. Also, did
Yeah,
you
that'd be
guys
interesting.
feel like Sony not being at E3 at all left a big gap in E3? Like I feel like
Yeah,
I kind of expected
yeah,
it though, to be honest, because
yeah.
they
But
started doing their
expecting it, and it happening is two different things.
well, no,
yeah,
I
yeah,
just
yeah.
expected them not to be there just because they got their like state of play thing now,
They
and
do.
they're
They
trying to
do.
separate themselves. Now, is it a good move? Probably not. But that's all I'm saying is that I kind of expected them to, because Sony's always trying to be like, oh, we're top of the class. We're not like those other guys. We're Sony, So
Yeah.
They're not.
But
Which
sorry to interrupt, but it definitely took a lot of the steam out of E3 because look, we
Mhm.
could have got a new God of War trailer because we know they're working on a new God of War. We could have gotten hopefully a Final Fantasy remake part 2 trailer. We could have
Mhm.
gotten whatever the hell they're working on because the PS5 is very light on titles right now besides like ports and
it's a myth.
Yeah.
I like that, sir.
I am so upset that now I'm not one for shooters or like for battle royale type games, but I'm so upset that Final Fantasy battle royale is only on mobile.
Yo, honestly, it's gonna be crap, but I want to play it
Right.
just for the wildness that a Final Fantasy VII battle royale game exists. So I want to see what that even smells like. Like what could that possibly even be like? But
You think Microsoft is the only one? Sony too. Nova said, "Well, people sleep on Microsoft since what exclusives are there for it? Like really?"
Yeah.
but no, Sony has no shortage of exclusives. Like that's something they excel at.
Mhm.
Tenfold over Microsoft. Nintendo
True.
is even better at exclusives because they just are used to not being supported by third parties that often, so they have to make their own games, and they've always have. But Sony comes with the AAA movie style games, like where it's like, here's The Last of Us, here's God of War, here's Ghost of Tsushima, here's Uncharted, These are all games that you feel like you're in a movie when you're playing these games. They're single player
Yeah.
cinematic experiences. So there's nothing like that in Microsoft's camp at all. Nothing even remotely close to a Last of Us on Microsoft's console. Like no Xbox game was even close to even what God of War did, or even Ratchet and Clank. You know what I'm saying? So
What seems to me that they've been doing is leaning on making PC games and then just sending them over to Xbox.
or vice versa. I don't think there's even a difference anymore between PC and Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've
But
kind of congealed themselves together.
yeah, they brought Bethesda, and that kind of gave them, Morrowind. Like, I mean, not Morrowind, the Elder Scrolls series. That gave them Fallout. They gave them Doom. They gave them what's the other one? There's like Doom, Wolfenstein, but still nothing that even touches what Sony has done exclusively on their console. Where
Nope.
like there's no Last of Us still. There's still no God of War. There's still no this giant AAA game that's gonna send waves throughout the year and probably get Game of the Year at the end of it. You know what I'm saying? There's not even anything close to like a Zelda or a Mario on Xbox. But maybe that's not Microsoft's cup of tea. Maybe they're not even trying for that. Maybe they're not even aiming for it. You
Yeah,
know?
I feel like there's. I honestly feel like the Xbox that they put out was just because it was Xbox, and Xbox fans are gonna buy it.
Yeah, David has said something that has been coming up a lot lately. Apparently, the next Kojima game is going to be on Xbox, and everybody was kind of pissed about it and saying and PC. But but even still, I don't think it's I don't know. I don't think there's any. I don't think that's for Microsoft is focusing on gamers. I think they're focusing more on services because Game Pass seems to be doing amazing for them, and maybe that's where all their efforts and powers are going to, just having this great online streaming service because that's apparently the future, which I don't doubt it is, but I don't know.
Game Pass is it's pretty good. I will say that.
Microsoft's flagship franchise Halo got shipped to PC, so there goes that Xbox exclusive. So the Xbox Series X isn't needed for the biggest game in Microsoft's arsenal.
I don't think you should think of it that way. And Halo has always been on PC also. So I think PC gamers are always gonna play PC games. But if you only have an Xbox, you're gonna play Xbox games. And they're not really looking at it like, oh, we lost our exclusives, we put it on PC. They make PCs, you know what I'm saying? It's still a win for them.
Yeah, I think it's more so just accessibility.
Yeah,
right?
it's like let's
Not
get our
everybody can buy a PC, and
Bingo.
everything to go with it.
Bingo. And then if you have a PC, you're gonna play the PC version of the game. They don't mind. They're getting the money regardless. So it's not a loss. It's not a loss in that front. It's everything else that comes out on every other console. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like a Need for Speed game. Anything from EA that shows up on every console, anything from Ubisoft that shows up on every console, is just a Me Too on Xbox. It's like it's not really worth buying an Xbox for something that's going to be on every console anyway. I could just buy it on the console I have already. But
that literally sounds like every character in Smash Bros. Is like, me too.
Yeah, dude. And actually, rounding it out back to Smash. I mean, last character, guys. You guys want to make a wild pick right now?
Goku.
Real. Yeah, he knows. He wants that Goku in there. He wants that anime guy.
I'm joking. Don't quote me on that. I don't know, dude.
But let's just picture a timeline where Goku does get announced. Do you imagine?
I wouldn't even be surprised.
That's a mic drop. That's a mic drop. I think Nintendo could walk on stage and just be like Goku and drop the mic and walk off. And I think people would lose their mind, but I don't think Sakurai would want to do it.
I'm not.
If we can get Kratos, that would be great.
From what? From God of War?
Yep.
Maybe.
No, Sony's not.
Nintendo's
not gonna want
me costume, dude.
Yeah, Nintendo's not gonna want a Sony character.
You just asked.
I just don't know. Like, I don't. It's just rough to. Like, I don't think it's gonna. I really don't think it's gonna be Sora. Disney is way too stingy. And I think the best you can hope for is a me costume for Sora.
Bingo. And I also think there's. Well, I'm gonna go back to like the the system that people use for guessing DLC. But I think there's already too many Square Enix characters in the game.
I feel like it's gonna be a Nintendo character.
I think so too. But I also can't tell you which Nintendo character because nobody has a big game coming soon, or nobody's a new franchise.
I feel like it's gonna be a Nintendo character, and it's gonna be for a game that they haven't talked about yet.
Could
to
be.
try to like promote the game, I guess. Maybe.
We do have a new Splatoon coming out, right? Splatoon 4.
True. Yeah.
Are there going to be like new
Three.
characters in that game that could probably be in Smash?
Yeah.
Not really.
Because every Splatoon character kind of plays the same way, right? There's not like it's just different weapons, not really differences between the character you
They
pick.
don't have to. They can actually change it up.
They can give them different weapons, I guess, if it's a different Splatoon character. But that'd be pretty anticlimactic for the last character. Which also brings you back to why didn't we hear about Splatoon 4 at E3? That's weird too.
That was 3, by the way.
3, my bad, 3.
I don't know. Actually, that's a good question. We just got that one trailer, and then
that was it, right?
That was it. Hey, Splatoon 3 is coming. Cool.
Yeah.
I feel like it's way too later down the line of Smash Bros. Being announced for them to do that. To be honest.
What about a game that is from a third party that's going to be big that could be in Smash? What's coming out from Square, Sega, freaking Konami, Namco?
You know what game would be unique?
Monster
Astral
Hunter.
Chain.
Astral Chain would be unique. I feel like they missed that window to get the hype behind it though, because that game is already a year old. It would have been like earlier this DLC pack to drop that character. Yeah. But
they couldn't do it. It was the first game of its kind. So
no, but I mean like if the character would have got announced a little bit around when the game dropped, because I think people have already forgotten about that game.
I feel like there would be no reason to add them because there'd be no reason to bring hype to it.
Exactly.
Unless they're coming out with another Astral Chain.
Which could be a possibility too. How about Monster Hunter? How about a Monster Hunter character?
Dude, you have no idea how much I would want Monster Hunter. Because playing Monster Hunter in MVCI is one of the coolest goddamn characters in existence as a fighting game
and it's a waste in that game.
I still love her.
Default character that changes weapons.
They could be male or female, gender bend. No? Why not? They do it for every other.
Car is asking for something.
Oh. But
like a Byleth situation.
Yeah, I was gonna say it could be male or female, like how the Fire Emblem OC characters are. But I think that's the safest pick for it to be like the box art character from Monster Hunter Rise.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the safest pick. Only downside being that puts Capcom so far ahead of all the other third-party companies in Smash. Because then you have Ryu, you have Ken, you have Mega Man, you have who am I missing? There's one more other Capcom character in Smash.
Ryu, Ken.
You're missing my thick ass eyebrows.
You're right.
Yeah, Sin's eyebrows. I feel like I'm missing one more character from Capcom in Smash. Because I know they already have. I think they have up to 4 characters already in Smash. I could be wrong though.
I was about to say, whatchamacallit, Pac-Man, but that's Bandai.
Yeah, that's Namdai. A surprising choice would be a Final Fantasy character not from 7, like Squall from 8. No,
another Final Fantasy. Like I'm pretty sure Sakurai already had already had to box freaking Square Enix just to give him Sephiroth, and they still won't give them English voices. So they're like, look, fine, you can use both of our characters, but we're not dubbing anything.
Yeah, no.
I don't know.
No more Final Fantasy. There's nobody even in Final Fantasy that even comes close to the hype of a Cloud and Sephiroth. No, I think Monster Hunter would be the safest bet. I think it's the safest. I think the hype is still there for Rise. And I think it's gonna still be there because they're gonna continue making DLC for Rise. So
New character is War Greymon.
Send this man home. Who said that?
AC Red Rum.
if it ain't Black War Greymon, I ain't with it.
That reminds me of that. Anybody played that PlayStation Smash like Digimon Fighter? Anyone
Oh,
else?
I never played it, but I've seen videos of it.
Dude, it was so much fun.
We have to
It
have
was
an episode dedicated to Smash clones because I think Smash clones don't get credit. They don't get love, and there's a lot of bad good ones. As in, like, no, I wouldn't play it, but I laugh at the fact that it exists.
True.
You ever played the Ninja Turtles Smash game that was for Wii?
There's a Ninja Turtle Smash game on the Wii, and I didn't know about it.
We'll save it for that episode when we do it eventually.
Yeah.
There was one with Konami characters that had Snake, and it has Optimus Prime, it has Bomberman.
That's crazy.
It has
I think I
Simon
remember
Belmont.
hearing about that.
Slap City? No, I've never heard of Slap City, but it sounds like a
Slap
good game.
City is so, oh my. We'll save that for later. I don't want to talk about it. I played Slap City, and let's just say it's try hard central, dude. Try hard central.
I bet. But yeah, man, that's the pod then, guys.
Alright, so
Unless you have some
No,
final comments.
we wrapping up the pod here.
Well, unless you got something else for me, what else you got?
Let me knock out the last couple of things that I had added then.
Oh, we got new stuff on
So we have Nintendo had announced essentially it was like a pocket Game & Watch-ish Legend of Zelda trifecta.
Yeah, that thing, yeah.
And I'm just sitting there like, Nintendo, you're abusing your fucking breach of power just knowing that people are willing to buy whatever the heck it is you want to put out. So
I said I think it's cute.
It's a novelty.
I mean,
it's a novelty.
It's cute novelty until you realize the price.
How much was it? I didn't see the price on it.
I haven't either, and I'm pretty sure that I bet you it's way more than what you want.
It's probably expensive, but that's how novelties are because they're not gonna make 1,000 of these things. They're gonna run out of stock.
It's $50.
Yeah.
$50.
Yeah, it's $50
Okay.
to take time, and you can play the first 2 games on it, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're a collector, it'll look cool on the wall. It's a clock too.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So we also have Monster Hunter Stories 2. Excuse me.
That comes out in
Being
4 days.
huh?
I said that comes out in 4 days, I believe.
Yeah, and people are definitely hyped for it. I hope to see some comments on it. I'm hyped for it. I've never played a Monster Hunter Stories game. And it seems like for it to be the type of game for people like Marv that don't like to invest too much time to play something like Monster Hunter Stories.
Yeah. I mean, it's not really on my radar, but yeah.
And lastly, the main feature, which I wanted to just braze through, they had a No More Heroes 3 treehouse where they displayed how the game runs. Mm-hmm. And to be quite honest, it looks beautiful. It runs well. I'm excited to see more of it, and it comes out August 27th.
Mondo Righteous, Mondo. That's definitely one of the few games that I'm somewhat excited for this year.
Mm-hmm.
However, that is the podcast. We have gone for quite some time, but I am happy that we managed to come back and do this, and with a guest, no less.
Yeah. Shout out to Rio for kicking it with us, man.
It's always a good time hanging with the homies,
He could have been anywhere in the world, but he's here with us.
No.
We appreciate it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the podcast. Thank you so much for everybody that has been here. I am one of your hosts. My name is Sinfanta. You can find me on twitch.tv/Sinfanta. And
I'm Nolly Marv, the brave wolf, the boss of the brave hearts. Happy 4th, you Americans. America. Hell yeah.
And we have
it's your boy Rio, aka Luminite for the Dreamers Alliance. You already know. Find me on twitch.tv/Luminite or Twitter @LuminiteArt.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful night. Love yourselves. Love your caras. And as always,
Mission complete. Oh, wait, I don't have my outro screen. It is what it is. We're out of here. See you later, losers.
Peace.